All right. So from no social media to like killing it on social media with Sarah Melby Thomas. So Sarah and I have been business partners for a year.
Yep.
And prior to that, I mean, you've been in business, you've been a realtor for 11 years. Yep. She's been on big teams. And then I stole you over a year ago. Yes. And like, it's pretty, I've watched you change your business with social media. And prior, she was on a team that did a lot of leads. So a lot of lead generation by buying leads, Zillow or what have you. And that was your format. You were really, really good at that. Mm-hmm. And it's just a different format that a lot of our business partners do, but we're all about social media and building our businesses on social media. So we just really changed that format for you.
Yeah.
Because you started getting people that, you know, friends and family and referrals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How this has changed her business that she won't say, and I will say, because I think it's really, really important when people are doing training. It's like, okay, how much are you selling? Are you selling, you know, 5 homes? And, you know, she's doubled her income. She's doubled her income by owning social media and doing this differently. Okay. And what does that mean? So she was very successful before on the team that she was at before. She was the #1 agent there. And that probably meant around 180 a year. So very, very, very good, very successful. She's doubled that this year on social media right now, pending and closed. You're already at that doubled number.
Correct.
So this is a big deal of leveling up, you know, leveling up social media and doing the right things. I think there's a lot of people utilizing social media that maybe they're getting results and maybe not. And they're like, is this working? So what you're doing is working. Mm-hmm. And so let's talk about all those things. Yeah. She's willing to share her tips and tricks with us. So let's hear what they are. Okay, so let's talk first about your Instagram and Reels. So tell us about, I like how you're not spread super thin all over the place on all the things, but you're owning that. Tell us about that.
So I learned super quickly that I'm not good at every social media platform. Like, you need to find 1, 2, maybe 3 that you're good at, but you also enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it, it's going to be forced and you're not going to remember to do it. So like for me, LinkedIn, I tried to do right away and I just realized it's not for me. I don't know how to use it very well. And it wasn't really generating any results for me. So I deleted my LinkedIn, like, I don't know, 6 months ago. I still have an account, but I deleted it. So for me, my main thing is Instagram, Instagram Reels. I am on Facebook and I am on TikTok, but my main one that I am at and consistent every day is Instagram.
And this is where your demographic is too.
It is. And it's what I'm on it all the time. I enjoy it. I know how to use it. Facebook is kind of my secondary, and then TikTok.
But before, a year ago, you weren't even really on it.
I didn't have an Instagram until about a year ago. I had one like right when it came out, but like when I was in college, but then I deleted it because I wasn't ever using it. So I did not have Instagram until about a year ago. Yeah.
So that's really changed because now you enjoy it.
Yeah. Yep. It's become something of my everyday. So like since 2001 is when I got licensed. I'm sorry, 2011. Before I never incorporated social media because it wasn't something that I knew how to use and I wasn't seeing results from it.
But you were also not at a company that rewarded it. She would get the same commission.
Correct.
And you were getting all the leads anyways. You didn't need it.
It was a different platform. So there are models where it's Zillow based, lead based. And actually Taya said something to me right before I joined you, and she might not even remember that she said this to me, but it has stuck with me like every single day. Before I came over here, she said, yes, you're a top producer and yes, you sell volume. But your model has always been based off of leads given to you. Yes, you can convert leads given to you based on Zillow models, but she said, converting on your own and getting lead gen on your own outside of a paid system is a different animal. And she said, so, we don't know if you can convert those or if you can lead gen those. And I was like, oh my God, rude. Yeah, I can. But like, okay, very fair point. So my model was always given the leads and convert them through Zillow. So Instagram has been my one consistent platform that I have moved my prospecting from cold calling Zillow, Follow Up Boss in that CRM, to my CRM is now Instagram.
Yeah. And you are doing some calls now, to be fair, because the market is different. We're leveling up in different categories and now you're making calls. But for the last year with social media, you've owned it. And are you actually getting leads from it?
Yeah. So after I started my Instagram about September-ish of last year, maybe a little bit before, it took me about 3 weeks to get my first lead on Instagram. And it was a real lead. They closed at 760 in Eden Prairie. So it's a real thing. You just have to be consistent and one thing that I've learned is that it's not just being consistent with like, shoot, I haven't posted today, I need to post something. Like, you need to create value, because if you're not creating value, think about the people that you follow on social media. Why do you follow them? You don't follow them because they're putting up, boring things that like you're not engaging with. You're getting value from those accounts. And so for me, my whole thing is, I don't care if my hair is on top of my head or like whatever. If I have something that I know will create value, whether it's for agents, for my sphere, for anybody, that's what I'm posting, because I know that is what creates the audience. And it's what shows that you have, like a stand in this market.
Yeah.
Is the value.
But I'd say if we're talking about content, so I love this because it's like, what do you post? What do you post? Do I post personal?
Yep.
What do I post? So I think you're good too at showing your life and George and Hank and what's going on, because now when you show up, people know that they like you. They start to like and trust you. And then you show up to meet them as a buyer or as a seller. And you have a lot of dog families.
Yes. Everybody I work with for the most part has a dog. And they already know Hank and George because they've seen them on my Instagram. And one thing with social media, I think that's really cool. So when I started, Instagram and social media was not utilized. So think about like 2011, everybody had Facebook. People still had like MySpace. It just wasn't a thing. So it's taken me 11 years to get here, but for you guys, I think it's pretty cool because we have these platforms that people can get to know you really quickly. Where for me, it wasn't that. Like people got to know me in person and they had to, there was a little bit more barriers to get to know me. But with Instagram, I combine business and personal. I've never had a personal business Instagram. I've tried having a business Facebook account, and I think that's fine. It's just not for me. So I combine the both of them because for me, I want people to reach out to work with me because they know who I am. They like me. They already kind of know my style. It's kind of like a giant interview. Like people are just watching you. So people will watch you for years before they finally reach out to you. And when they do, I already know that they know who I am. They know kind of my style. They know a little bit about me. So it's less, it honestly is less rapport building because they already feel like they know you. Where Zillow leads, Realtor.com leads, UpCity, whatever it is, those are all great and good, but you're the one calling them and trying to build rapport when they don't necessarily want to talk to you.
And there's a process for that and it can work,
yes.
But I am thinking that social media is way more fun clients.
It is because they want to work with you. And so I think Taya says it really good where she says, I'm not for everybody. People, when they reach out, they already kind of know your style. So, I don't post everything personal. I try to filter it a little bit. But I also don't want to filter it so much where people are getting like a scripted version. I want it to be very candid.
Yeah. I think you're good at that. Yes. You're really good at that. Like all of a sudden you'll be on video, your hair is in a bun. Like you're like,
if I think of something that has value, I have to say it before I forget. And if it means that my hair's on top of my head and I haven't washed my hair in 9 days, then I'm going to go on.
Are you starting, like that's hard in the beginning?
Yeah.
Are you more comfortable now that you've done it, or were you comfortable in the beginning?
I'm more comfortable with the fact that people approach me all the time saying that they get value from my content and that they get value from what I'm posting. It's not that I wasn't comfortable before. I just didn't really know what to talk about. And I felt like what I was talking about was, bugging people. Like I felt like if I was posting, I was spamming people. And that was like my worst nightmare. I didn't want to spam people
and be annoying.
Yes. So I wanted people to get value out of what I was talking about. So it wasn't that I wasn't comfortable on camera. I didn't care what I looked like on camera, but it was more so like, I don't want to post things where people are like, okay, well, what does that mean?
Right.
Or what is that? I don't care that you sold 7 homes this week. That sounds great.
So let's talk about like video, because she's starting to do more video. So give us an example of a topic that you wouldn't bug people that you feel like is adding value in video.
So I've gotten a couple questions from people who are newer agents or newer to the business and have said like, what is good content? And for me, I mean, when I started with Kelly, obviously I had a lot of transactions under my belt, but nobody cares to see that you sold a house today, sold a house tomorrow, the next day. Nobody cares. Like, I mean, yes, they care that you have the experience and the reputation, but they don't care to see another sold sign. So for me, it was, what do I enjoy and what do I enjoy showing people? And why do I come to Instagram? And for me, it's model homes, it's decor, it's renovations, it's education on the market. So if you don't have any active buyers, any active sellers, or you don't have, you're very, even just slow and you're an experienced agent, go to Pottery Barn. Like,
Totally.
Like, go there and be like, look at the lights that are in style. Look at the colors that are in
Trends
style.
are always fun to post. People don't get time to go there or to a model home or to the parade of homes.
Go anywhere.
There's always something.
And
yes,
one thing that I used to do was, so I do a ton of open houses. Open houses have always been a big part of my business. And if you're at an open house and it's dead, there's nobody there. I literally used to just like close my eyes and be like, okay, I'm going to take a nap and just wait for this to be over, because clearly this isn't doing anything. My best TikToks that get the like tons and tons of views have come from my dead open houses. Mm-hmm. The 2 TikToks that got the most amount of views for me were at open houses that not a single person came through. So I've started to use my time just better, because I'm like, if I'm going to waste 2 hours sitting in an open house, I want to make sure that like I am doing something. So for example, this past weekend at the new construction listings that were put on, they were slower. It's fine. I created videos the whole time to show the trends that these builders are putting in. And it not only shows that you know the trends, the interior design, like whatever, but you're in a pretty house to show.
But not only that, you're almost doing like a virtual open house. Yeah. Like we always say with open houses, half of it is showing up to the open house. The other half is putting it on social media, because a lot of people can't come.
Right.
We've definitely created more momentum for our listings by putting them on and doing like, hey guys, I mean, even we should start to do like live. We could be doing live.
I thought about it.
We should start to do that.
I know. I didn't have the service, but I thought about it.
Yeah.
But those content is everywhere. Think about why you go to Instagram. What are the pages that you follow? Who are the agents that you follow and that you want to mimic? Just watch what they're doing and do the same thing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Nothing that we're doing is rocket science. It's all things where you find someone that you think is successful and that you want to emulate, and you just mimic what they're doing.
And figure out a way to be you,
right?
But show up consistently, show up consistently and do it. Yeah. And there's so many ideas for content, but I like that you're trying to think of a value.
Yes.
But every day, if you are a busy agent, every day you're in situations where you could add value.
Always.
And if you're not a busy agent, go figure it out. Go to a model home, go add value by showing trends.
Yep.
Builders right now, they want to be shown on social media. Like their reps typically are not awesome at showing social media, and that's not why they're hired.
Right.
So if you go in there, back in the day, 7 years ago, I had to ask permission. Can I do this? Sorry, you can't post anything. That's corporate. Like those are gone. Like everyone wants to show up on social. And if you start a channel and if you get more and more people too, I'll say this, if you get more and more engagement and people watching, you can actually be a huge asset for listings and builders, because now more people are seeing we've sold homes on our social media.
Right.
So by building that up and being consistent and adding value, you will get your listings more traffic. You can sell homes off of it.
Yeah. It's definitely something that I don't stick to a schedule. Like I don't have like, oh, it's noon today, I got to post. My only thing is that I need to show up daily. whether it's in a post, a story, whether it's short, long, I just need to show up every single day. And some days, like you just said, like the other day, it was like 9 p.m. and I was running around like a crazy person and was like, shoot, I haven't posted today. So I needed to figure out, like, go back through my camera to see what from that day happened that I could post about. Other days, you obviously have more time, but for me, I don't use any scheduled apps. I'm very like elementary when it comes to apps and CRMs and things like that. Like, I've used all the CRMs. I've used Boomtown, Follow Up Boss, Salesforce, anything that has been a CRM I've likely used. They just don't work for me. They create more anxiety for me, and they create more things where I'm like, oh shoot, I need to mark my tasks in there. It doesn't work for me. It works really well for some people, but just not for me. My CRM is literally my notepad, and then I have a Google Doc and a Excel in my phone, and that is my CRM. I've been doing it this way for 11 years. It works for me. Tina Call used a little note card box. That was her CRM. Don't feel like you have to get bought into these, fancy CRMs and the newest and latest, greatest products. Yes, they work for some people, but it's just not for me. And I don't use like Later. I probably will maybe at some point, but for me, my calendar is what I like live and breathe by. So if there's something that I need, so like for follow-up, if I need to call someone tomorrow, it's going in my phone, call Kelly Brown. That is just
set a reminder. Call Kelly Brown tomorrow at 8 a.m.
That is just because I always have my phone. I don't have to remember to check a CRM or whatever. And then I log into my CRM and it's like, whoopsies, you have 68 missed tasks. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do that. So this is my CRM.
And to each their own. We're kind of random like that, but I like the idea of showing up on social media that you're saying once a day, every day, even on the weekends,
especially on the weekends. Day you have to, because consistency. If you're showing up once a week, it's not. You need to be the face, and you need to show up. And kind of back to like the value. I will, if there's nothing from that day that I feel like was an actual value add, I will share something you posted, something Shelby posted, something Taya posted, if I think it's better value than something that I'm going to post that day, just to show up and be present. One thing that I learned from a really good girlfriend of mine who was the social media manager for Smashbox, L'Oreal in California, she said, there are two things to remember with especially Instagram. Your posts are what gain new followers and gain interest. So if I'm interviewing someone, or if I'm looking up a design firm, I'm going to their Instagram and I'm scrolling through their posts to see what they're all about, to see if it's something that aligns with me. And then if they do, I'm going to follow them. But when you follow someone, you're not really scrolling back, looking through their posts, you're watching their stories. So your posts are what give you the presence and kind of show people who you are and what you're all about. Yeah. Your stories are what keep your current followers engaged. So that's kind of the method that I go by is posts. They live on your page. You want them to be something that holds value long-term. Your stories can be a little more fun. They can be a little more like Hank today. One of my dogs is in his sweater now because it's 35 degrees out. And I posted, that he's wearing a sweater now. I probably wouldn't put that as a post on my page. Yeah. Because that's just kind of weird. So you need to, someone just asked if you do public or private, 100% public. You're a realtor. You want people to be able to see you, see what you're doing, be super non-pushy, let them watch you. That's what we're there for.
Yes. Yeah. And some people have different rules on that, but mine is public as well. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about, what were you just saying? I wanted to ask you a question.
Posting.
Oh, stories.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Posting on stories versus the grid. So they're not always the same. No. They're different, right? They're different. And you're making sure that they're different.
Yes. So Kelly is she loves the way that her grid looks on Instagram. I didn't really understand that until 6 months ago. I'm not going to post my face 4 times in a row. I'm going to try to switch it up with a home that's like sprinkle in a sold sign, sprinkle in like an open house, like try to make it different within consistency.
I'm really anal about my grid.
Yeah.
And I think that, and I was a wedding photographer who did, high-end album design. So that's where it comes from. But I know a lot of people have way more success not doing that. But what you're saying is like, I will make sure it's me. By the way, you got to show your face. You have to be showing you, right? And I've had to learn that. But it might be a post of me, then it might be a sold, then it might be a quote,
right.
But I'm mixing it up. But I don't think that's not my advice to everyone, because that's like, I think there's a lot more successful people who are just like doing like their face is all over.
Right.
But it's something for me. I've had to show up more of myself and show my face more. Do you feel like you're doing enough of that?
I definitely am making a point for 2023 to show up more in video, because reels are what is kind of like the thing right now. Like posts, pictures are great, but video is what's getting engagement. And frankly, I mean, videos are more fun. Like you can show more things. So for 2023, I am trying to make more of a point to have like my face more, just so people can see me and hear what I'm saying and, hear the inflection in your voice. And like, it's kind of like that thing I posted today that said, I get like upset when my client doesn't use an exclamation point, because I'm like, are they mad at me, or whatever. So if they can hear me and see me, they can see what's happening.
Yeah.
So I definitely need to do more video, but I think that, if you're posting like sold house, sold house, sold house, sold house, like that just
boring. No one cares how many houses
like,
you've sold.
We all sell houses.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. So
unless it's interesting, like you do, it's interesting twist. Sold for 10 grand over.
Right.
Oh, really? People are like, oh, houses are still selling for 10 grand over. Like, what's the message? You can make it more interesting.
It has to be like it has to add value. It has to have a value add. And we, nothing, I don't do anything with my stuff that's like fancy or over the top. Canva is one of the best things you can use. You can either pay for it or there's a free one. That's a really easy way to try to make things look a little more aesthetically pleasing. There's so many apps that you can use to add music or whatever. I don't go crazy and pay for a lot of things. I just don't.
But there is one that our team uses, which we're not going to say because all of a sudden everyone uses the same one, but you can take a video and make it just look a little bit more professional by buying some of these apps.
Yes.
There's a ton out there. And it's pretty easy. You can put music to it. It's easy, right?
Don't overcomplicate it. Don't, it's just social media. It's just for fun. And it's meant to entertain people and keep them engaged. I'm trying to think of what else was fun.
Okay, let me ask you this. So you were talking about, so you show up every day and you just randomly post. You're not worried about the time you post? You're just not ready. You're not worried about it.
No, okay. I know there are some coaches that say post at 9 a.m., post at 4 p.m. because more people are off work or whatever. I don't.
And we only have so much time. Everyone only has so much time. So if we spend time researching when those are, I know Allie helps me with some of that, but it's showing up and just doing it.
It is.
And I mean, you're in production, you're working with buyers and sellers and busy, and you're just showing up and that is working for you.
The only thing I do look at with social media is what's trending for hashtags, songs, things like that. Like, I don't care what time of the day it is. I mean, if I'm like being very anal, I have noticed that I get more interaction if I post like 7 p.m. or later.
Oh,
I don't know why that is. I think maybe just more people are on their phones.
And more interaction back and forth,
yeah.
Which matters. When you get more interaction, comments, if you say yes or no, or it's a poll, you are getting more engagement, right?
So I get more at night and like, so I don't know. So that's just what I've noticed.
But that's so smart, because when people answer that and you're getting engagement, even if it's just comments, you're going to show up more in the algorithms. You're going to show up more on people's posts, and that matters.
So it's later in the day that I've noticed that I get more interaction.
Okay.
I will look at what's trending for hashtags and songs, because it's super easy to Google. I literally Googled last night, what are the trending songs on Reels? And it popped up 10 songs that were trending. I listened because it then links it to your Spotify. I listened to it on Spotify. And I was like, I like this one. Added that, had never heard it before, but it was trending on Instagram. And and that reel has gotten more views than my past one. Hashtags, I don't like know a ton about. What I do is I just add what I would search for. If I was a buyer or a seller, what would I search on Instagram? Minnesota Realtor, whatever it is. Like if I'm looking at home decor, what am I searching for hashtags? And I have them saved in my notes and I just copy and paste and post it to my story.
There's so many. I'm glad you're talking about hashtags because there's so much different like ideas on what works and doesn't. And we just don't get stuck on it anymore. In fact, Allie helps me with a lot of my social. And you just said the other day, like, I don't know, people aren't really utilizing that. It's not something anymore. But I don't know, we still do some of them.
Yes.
So I'll do Minnesota, Realtor, Kelly Brown Homes, like that sort of stuff, but I'll just do it quickly.
Yeah. Copy and paste. Don't make it hard.
I think you can do up to 30. We used to do up to 30. We used to change them up. We used to copy and paste. And now we're not doing as much of that, but these things change, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll keep an eye on it. I mean, if I notice, because I will Google what are the trending hashtags in Reels this week. And then whatever pertains to me, then I will add that. But I don't get too wrapped up in like, oh gosh, I don't have 30 hashtags. Like, let me come up with another one. I'm just post it. Cause that's not, I don't think that it doesn't, I haven't seen a big impact from hashtags.
Okay. Let's talk about you randomly post stuff. You don't use any apps for scheduling, but we've used later. So if you want to do that, that's something. Are you doing you're showing up on Facebook business sometimes, right? I
will post. Instagram is always my number one. That's where I'm showing up every single day. I have more like friends on Facebook. One person did tell me when I was first starting with social media, don't worry about double posting your Instagram to your Facebook. So like, don't worry about double posting content because whatever I post on my Instagram is going to my Facebook. So whoever follows me on multiple platforms is going to see the same post on different sources,
which could be kind of annoying,
which can get annoying. So for now, I don't worry about it because I don't really care. I mean, I don't have enough, I don't think, engagement and enough people to bug them. And if they want to unfollow me on Facebook, they can.
I might encourage you though, to do some. Okay. So here's the thing about some of these scheduling apps, like Later, is when you post on Instagram, you can automatically post on Facebook. Now you could be annoying by doing too much, but for my age, I'm 47. A lot of people I love Instagram though, and I want to show up in it, but I have to remember to show up on Facebook. At my age, there's a ton of people who are just on Facebook and not on Instagram. So it's really, really important to me, my demographic, to show up. Yours is probably less with your age, being 30 to 33. Most people are, but I'd still say some of those people, you're working with your parents' friends.
Yeah. So that's why I'm on Facebook, is because not for like my demographic, but for my parents and their friends, because none of them really have Instagram. So when I'm posting on Instagram, it then says, do you want to share to Facebook? And I always say, yep, just auto post. At some point, will I start differentiating them? Yes. I don't share as much on my stories on Facebook just because I don't. So Instagram is that's the one that I am using. I'm not trying to spread myself too thin and post on every single platform just because that's annoying to me. And if I'm getting annoyed and forgetting, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. But some of these you need to show up for your parents' friends and they're on Facebook. So maybe you're doing some of that.
Yes.
And then are you strategically going on Facebook, like your friends, that maybe you're friends with your parents' friends or whoever, and then are you inviting them over to your business Facebook?
I do not have a business Facebook.
Okay.
So my Facebook my Facebook is personal and work. It's everything.
Okay.
I had a business Facebook and I literally never used it. It was for me, I'm all about like not reinventing the wheel and doing something consistently. And if I can't show up on my business Facebook consistently,
then you're going to look like you're not doing business.
Exactly.
So it's way better.
So I deleted mine because I wasn't using it and it just wasn't working for me.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Like for you need to have one.
Yeah. So I have business and I have personal for Facebook, and I have to remind myself to show up on personal because it's not like comfortable for me, but I do it, but I'm always on Facebook. Well, I try to remember to do Facebook business because that's where a lot of my people are.
I know.
But I like that. And I think that can be a really good format that works because you're showing up personally and then you're throwing in something and it's like, oh yeah, she's a realtor. Oh yeah, this is of value.
That's what I do.
I like
because
it.
For me, my Facebook, the only reason I have Facebook is because of our industry. If it wasn't for that, I would delete it and just be on Instagram. But I post on Facebook probably 3 times a week. 3 to maybe 4 times a week. So it's not as consistent as Instagram, but again, my Instagram has been my lead source, not necessarily Facebook.
Can I steal this?
Yes.
Okay. Time you spent, how much a day would you say, how much time do you spend a day showing up?
Yeah. So I used to, like I said, Follow Up Boss, Boomtown, those used to be my prospecting platforms. And I would spend anywhere between 2 to 4 hours a day in Boomtown, Follow Up Boss, whatever it is, hammering the phones, Zillow, whatever. So I have switched over that hours to social media. So I'm spending minimum 2 hours a day on social media, whether it's in the morning for 45 minutes, at 7 p.m. for the remainder. I'm making sure to dedicate, because you can't just do it for like 2 seconds and think it's going to do anything. You need to think of it as your
lead gen.
Your lead gen.
It's lead gen. You got to show up. I pull over in my car. I'm in a parking lot. I'm doing some, I've got 5 minutes. You're showing up and it accumulates. It's time during the day, but it's our lead gen.
It is. I would rather be on Instagram for 2 to 4 hours a day than calling Zillow leads for 2 to 4 hours a day. That I've done both of them. I prefer Instagram because again, it's people that want to work with me. It's not as much of an uphill battle because with cold calling, yes, I'm doing it again. And it does work, but social media is a lot warmer of a lead.
And more fun. I think it's more fun people to work with because they know and like and trust you. And a lot of times when we get to a listing, they're not meeting with multiple people. They already like us.
Exactly. They've already decided.
Mm-hmm.
So I have shifted my prospecting hours from the phones to social media. Yeah.
And it's showing up for 2 hours a day. That's a long time. And a lot of people think they just show up a little bit. I mean, this is a consistent platform for you where you show up and you're now getting leads.
You have to.
Getting leads. It's actually buyers and sellers, both.
Yep.
Buyers and sellers from it. Okay. We're going to wrap up in a second. If there's any questions, Q&A, will you guys put them down here? We're going to wrap up in a second. There's one more question I want to ask. So when you actually get a lead, someone asked this question, how are you converting that? What does that look like? When you're on social media, someone asks you a question, what's that kind of thing? What does that look like?
So I am very heavy with scripts. I think if you don't know scripts, you need to, and it doesn't mean it's, hi, this is Sarah Melody Thomas, Kelly Brown Homes. You want to buy or sell a home or invest in real estate? No, the scripts are very
conversational and real, but you know what you're going to say.
You wouldn't know it's a script if you didn't know the script. So for me, I am very heavy with those. And I basically pretend that they are a Zillow lead and your goal is to get the appointment. You need to ask yes or no questions. Don't ask open-ended questions. Make sure that you're following up very quickly. We used to, at teams I was on previously, if you didn't respond within 4 minutes to a lead, there was your chance of getting them on the phone went down by 400%. So for me, it is always you still have to be quick. Just because they are reaching out doesn't mean you can take 5 days to get back to them.
They're gone.
You have to be very quick. And even
so, are you always looking at your phone?
Yeah.
You're like always looking. Yep. Right now on Instagram, I can see 13 messages. I'll get back to them later, but then I will get back to people.
If I can't respond right away, the best thing you can do is if it's somebody that is reaching out to you, a hot lead. Hi, I'm moving to the area. I'd like to meet. Like, hi, that sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for reaching out. I am in appointments until noon today. I will reach out to you then. People just want to know that you're responsive. The one thing that I have always heard from clients of mine is that I am so quick to respond. Sometimes it's a negative because I'll respond too quickly and be like, well, shoot, I probably shouldn't have said that. You have to be quick.
Yeah, I think you differentiate yourself by being quick. You're quick, you're on it. Hey, I'm on it. I'm working all the time.
You would be shocked at how many people say, I reached out to 3 agents and you're the only one who responded.
Like, crazy.
How is that even
crazy? Yes. Or people don't see it. So I'm watching Messenger, you're watching Instagram. I mean, you're watching these getting back texts.
And that is the other reason why I don't spread myself too thin. If I am posting on 6 different platforms, I can't manage that. I can't. So I try to condense it so I know that the service I'm providing is top notch because I know I can manage those.
Yeah. Okay, a couple Q&As and then we're going to wrap up. So Sarah, thank you for asking the question. So when we're talking about time that she spends on social media being about 2 hours a day, she wants to know if that's dedicated to touches and what you're doing in that, or is it content creation also on Canva?
It's both. So it's coming up with content, it's interacting with people, it's posting, it's both. So creating the content for me is included in the prospecting just because it's value that I'm adding rather than like curating a mass email that you're going to send out to 1,000 people. That is my Instagram post. Like that's my value add. So it's both.
And it's never like perfect. It's never like 2 hours, but I think just the idea of it is we dedicate time every day. It's our lead gen. Like we dedicate major time and not just 10 minutes.
I will say when I first met with Kelly and the girls and they all said, we're on Instagram or social media 2 to 3 hours a day. I remember being like, there's no way you are. Like, how on earth can you spend 2 to 3 hours on social media a day? But when you actually start taking it seriously as your income and your like lead gen, all of a sudden you're like, oh God, I've been doing this for 5 hours. I really should probably put the phone down. Like it becomes something that you actually, when you start seeing interaction from it, the 2 hours, like you need more time.
Yeah. So, and sometimes you have to be like, okay, I'm going to put it down.
Yeah.
But
like
it's
my
truly lead gen.
Yeah. Like my screen time phone is like, it's just a reminder. Your screen time has been up 128% this week. And I'm like, cool. Thanks for letting me know that.
Yeah.
I didn't need to know. So it definitely, I was the biggest skeptic with social media, like 1,000,000%. Like I was like, there is no way these girls are selling what they're selling with social media. Like, I just didn't believe it after being in the industry this long. I was like, I don't get it, but it has, like Kelly said, doubled my, well, not my volume, but my income because that is lead gen that I am doing. If that makes sense.
It's huge because you went again from a system that was, Zillow leads and all the things and a different team to a format that's higher commission.
Yep.
And you're doing around like you're 33 million this year.
Yeah.
33 million sold this year, pending and closed already this year. And you'll sell more than that.
Yeah.
That's major volume. And it's, not to be dramatic, but it's life-changing money.
Oh, it is
life-changing. When you double your income from being strong, 180,000 a year, and you double that by doing social media on a different format, that's life-changing.
It is. And it's pretty wild. That's why I didn't believe it. I was like, there's just no way. Like, it's such a simple thing. And again, like there's no reason to complicate it. Find whether it's an agent, a friend, like I don't know, somebody in whatever, like a restaurant that you love, like find someone that you like their presence and you like what they're doing and you think they're successful and pull parts of that and do that.
Yeah. Kind of mimic it until you feel comfortable and you have your own groove and get ideas from other people.
Follow
and mimic
people.
that.
Yeah. Go just call an agent who is doing volume and be like, hi, can I sit at your open house? Like, can I come to you? Can I just put yourself out there? Because the more that you show up and the more that you can post and share, the busier you're going to be. I had someone the other day, a mutual friend of mine and my husband's, say, you know, I don't watch many people on Instagram, but I have started to watch you, whether it is true or this is a facade that you are putting out there. And she said, it seems as though you know all of the trends, you know the market, and you work with really stunning homes on a day-to-day basis. She was like, I don't know if those are your homes or what. And I was like, well, yeah, of course there are homes. But she was like, I enjoy following because you show up in our kind of like city.
And whether that person or not is ready to buy or sell, that person likely when they like you, so-and-so is going to be ready and they're going to be like, hey, have you talked to Sarah?
Yeah.
Have you talked to Sarah? And then you're getting referrals. So it's a referral.
That's what it is. And Taya says this all the time because this couple, I didn't know them until a couple months ago. They bought last March. And every time I see them, they say, we wished we would have known you when we were buying, you know, our agent X, Y, and Z, and it's okay, whatever. But those are the people that will refer their friends to you.
They didn't use you. They didn't use you.
They'll refer you.
But you keep the good vibes and they refer you. And those are some of our best referrals.
Yep.
Because you just keep showing up and you're kind about it. Yep.
Oh, that happened when you bought. Oh, that sucks. But okay. Just continue to be their expert in our field. Be the one in your group that everyone goes to because you're constantly showing up.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Thank you. That was awesome. So if you're not already following Sarah Melby Thomas, what is your Instagram, Sarah?
It's just Sarah Melby Thomas.
Okay. S-A-R-A.
Yeah.
Yep. Melby Thomas. So go ahead and follow her. But thanks everyone for joining. We'll stick around for a couple more Q&As if you guys would like to put them on the chat. Thanks for saying thank you. So that was our training. We will put this on and we will keep this from no social media to blowing it up on social media literally in a year with Sarah. So thanks for being on here live, guys. Okay. Oh God, I hope my tummy wasn't showing there.
No.
It wasn't, was it?
No.
Okay, so thanks, guys. I think it was just like the reflection. I'm like, oh. Thanks for showing up, guys. Why is my phone blowing up on the girl gang?
Because Erica's Instagram was hacked.
Oh, shoot. Just like Carmen's?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So she's trying to get it back.
Okay, I'm going to log off. Oh, I got to stop this recording. Okay, thanks, guys.